Everyone thought she was just another soldier, until the commander saw her cleaning a sniper rifle. What no one knew was that this quiet woman held a world record kill shot, and when an entire convoy was trapped in a deadly ambush, she became the only hope between life and death. The desert was never truly quiet. Even in the early hours, before the heat rose and the dust came alive, the land whispered. A faint wind carried grains of sand against the walls of the forward operating base, tapping like fingertips on metal. Dogs barked in some distant village. The mountains beyond stood still, their sharp ridges painted gold by the first stretch of sunlight. Commander Nathan Cole walked slowly along the dirt path that cut through the camp. He liked these mornings, the brief minutes before chaos claimed the day. Soldiers were still half asleep, sprawled in bunks, or moving lazily toward the mess tent for coffee. Vehicles sat lined up like hulking beasts, still quiet, waiting for orders. Nathan had been in the Navy for 15 years, and now, at 38, he led one of the youngest special operations teams in the field. Afghanistan was only the latest name on a long list of places where he had watched the world burn. He had learned one lesson well: danger never announced itself. It came silently, like the morning wind. As he rounded the corner of the weapons bay, he stopped. Someone was already there. At a table, under a dim light, a soldier was working on a massive Barrett sniper rifle. The pieces of the weapon were spread neatly, each laid in a perfect line. The movements of the soldier's hands were calm, precise, as if performing a practiced ritual. Nathan's brow furrowed. It was unusual to see anyone awake this early, let alone fully absorbed in weapon care. He stepped closer and realized it was not one of his men. She was small in stature, barely 5'4". Her dark hair pulled tightly back, her face marked by long hours in sun and dust. Her uniform bore the dirt of fieldwork, not the neatness of office duty. She looked up briefly. Her eyes were sharp, green like glass, reflecting sunlight. There was no surprise in them, only acknowledgement. She gave a slight nod and returned to her work. "Mind if I watch?" Nathan asked. "Free country, sir," she replied, her tone flat, with the faintest trace of a Texas accent. Nathan moved closer. She was reassembling the Barrett now. The weapon was large, heavy, built to fire rounds that could smash through steel at over a mile. Many treated it like holy scripture, handling each piece with exaggerated reverence. This soldier handled it like a trusted tool, every click and motion steady and familiar. "How long have you worked with that rifle?" he asked. 4 years, she said without looking up. "Started with smaller systems. Got certified on this before deployment." Her voice carried no pride, only fact. Nathan recognized the pattern. The best operators never boasted. They didn't need to. The last part slid into place with a faint snap. She tested the bolt, her fingers moving automatically. A young soldier strolled in just then, Specialist Davis, all swagger and loud grin. "Still playing with that big toy of yours, Vasquez?" Nathan caught the subtle stiffening in her jaw, though her hands never faltered. "Got to keep it clean," she answered evenly. "Never know when it'll be needed." Davis smirked. "Maybe let the real snipers handle the long shots next time. We've got experience with that stuff." The silence in the room thickened. Nathan was about to step in, but the woman beat him to it. "Experience," she repeated softly, like tasting a bitter word. Her eyes met Davis's, and for a second, he flinched. She gave the smallest of smiles and turned back to her rifle. Nathan studied her. That smile carried weight. It was not arrogance. It was the smile of someone who knew something the rest did not. As the sun rose higher, voices and footsteps filled the camp. Orders would come soon. Patrols would leave. But Nathan's thoughts lingered on the quiet sniper who had worked with her weapon like it was part of her body. Her name, he remembered from the roster, was Staff Sergeant Elena Vasquez. And something told him she was far more than the file had suggested. 2 days after that silent morning, Nathan Cole sat in the operations center, staring at the map glowing on the big screen. Convoys were scheduled to move supplies through Kamdesh Valley, a place that seemed designed for ambush. High cliffs, narrow roads, endless shadows where danger could hide. The radio crackled suddenly. A patrol had been hit. Gunfire, panic, wounded, men pinned in the kill zone. All units, enemy fire, from elevated ridges request, sniper support. The voice on the radio shook with strain. Nathan's team scrambled. Helicopters were on their way, but they were still 15 minutes out. 15 minutes could mean the end of every soldier trapped in that valley. Before Nathan could issue an order, Elena Vasquez appeared at his side. She was already in full gear, Barrett case in hand, eyes steady. "There's an observation post. 2 clicks north," she said, pointing at the topography lines on the map. "From there, I can see the ridge. 20 minutes to position, 5 to set up." The major in charge frowned. "That's extreme range, hard cover. Civilians nearby. It's a gamble." "With respect, sir," Elena said calmly, "I know what this rifle can do, and I know what I can do." Nathan's eyes locked with hers. There was no bravado there, only certainty. He gave the order, "Go." 20 minutes. As she moved out, Nathan asked the question that had been burning since their first encounter. "Staff Sergeant, what's your furthest confirmed shot?" She hesitated. For the first time, her confidence wavered, just a fraction. 3,247 meters, sir. Confirmed by 3 spotters. Nathan felt his chest tighten. That was over 2 miles, a number that placed her among the best in the world. She said it quietly, like it was nothing. Then she was gone, sprinting into the mountains with 50 pounds of gear. Minutes later, her voice returned over the radio. Calm, even, controlled breathing. Overwatch 1, in position. 4 enemy positions identified. Range 902, 1,200 meters. Wind steady, at 4 to 6, engaging. The crack of the Barrett echoed through the valley, followed by silence. Phantom base, target down, came her steady voice. Engaging secondary. One by one, the ambush collapsed. The convoy moved, shaken but alive. Soldiers cheered over the radio, calling her their guardian angel. But in the operations center, Nathan said nothing. He only watched her GPS marker on the map, his mind turning. This woman was not what her file claimed. That evening, Elena returned, dusty and tired. She handed in her report like it was any ordinary day. But Nathan couldn't let it go. He met with Colonel Rebecca Martinez, the base commander, and asked to see Elena's file. The papers were clean, too clean. Basic training, sniper school, deployment. No mention of unusual training. No decorations for extraordinary shots. No gaps filled with truth. "There are gaps," Nathan said quietly. "Her record doesn't explain what I saw today." The colonel studied him. "You're suggesting her background is hidden." "I'm suggesting," Nathan replied, "that she's operating on a level beyond conventional sniper training. Those shots she made today, that's not learned." In a classroom, a knock at the door. Elena herself. She entered, stiff at attention. But Nathan saw at the tension in her shoulders, the wariness in her eyes. She was more nervous here than she had been under fire. "Staff Sergeant," the colonel said gently, "the commander has questions about your training." Elena's lips pressed together. For a long moment, silence filled the room. Then she exhaled. "Ma'am, some of my experience is classified." Nathan leaned forward. "What kind of classified?" Her eyes flicked to the colonel, who gave a small nod. 18 months with a Joint Special Operations Task Force, Elena said at last. High-value targets, counter-sniper missions, long-range reconnaissance. The words came flat, but heavy. "How many confirmed kills?" Nathan asked. 47, sir? 32 beyond 1,500 meters. The colonel's brows rose. Nathan felt his breath leave him. That was not a career. That was legend. Why hide it? The colonel asked softly. Because records get cleaned, Alina replied. To protect the unit. To protect us. Nathan studied her. She was not exaggerating. She was telling the truth. And she carried it like a burden. Asterisk from that day, Nathan's view of her changed. She was no longer just a soldier in the background. She was a weapon, sharper than any he had worked with. Still, Alina remained the same quiet, humble, keeping her distance from praise. She trained every morning, long before others rose. Her rifle never left her care. When Nathan's SEAL team began planning operations, he asked for her support. She hesitated at first, wary of being pulled back into shadows she had left. But the colonel approved. "You'll have her," the colonel said, "and you'll see why." Over the following weeks, they worked side by side. Missions blurred together, raids on compounds, overwatch during convoys, eliminating threats before they could strike. Each time, Alina performed with calm perfection. Nathan watched her closely. She did not just shoot. She read the battlefield. She predicted enemy moves, saw patterns in chaos. Respect grew, not only from him, but from everyone who witnessed her work. And slowly, a bond of trust formed. Then came the mission that would test that trust beyond all limits. The target was a high-value insurgent leader, a man responsible for bombings, raids, countless deaths. Intelligence showed he would appear for only 90 seconds in a courtyard meeting. The only vantage point, a rocky outcrop nearly 4,000 meters away. Nathan looked at the map and felt his stomach tighten. That's 2.5 miles. Alina studied her ballistic computer. Her voice was steady, barometric pressure stable, humidity low, winds manageable. "It's possible, Nathan pressed. "At this range, nothing is certain. Bullet flight time is nearly 5 seconds. If the target moves, it's a miss." She paused, then added softly, "But I've studied his patterns. He stands in one spot for long minutes. If he repeats them today, there will be a window." The team prepared. Drones confirmed the target's arrival. The moment was approaching. Nathan lay beside her, spotting scope in place. He felt the weight of history pressing. "Alina," he said quietly, "what's your confidence level?" She glanced at him, and for the first time used his first name. "Nathan, no matter what happens, working with your team has been the most fulfilling part of my career." His throat tightened. "Don't talk like you're saying goodbye." "Not goodbye," she whispered. "But after today, everything changes." The drone confirmed it. The target was moving into the courtyard. Alina adjusted her scope, her breathing slowing. "Range 3,890 meters, she said. "Wind 6 to 8, northwest." Nathan did the math in his head. The bullet would drop hundreds of feet. She would have to aim into the sky, trusting physics to do the rest. The figure appeared, small, distant, almost unreal. "He's stopping," Alina whispered. "This is the window." Nathan held his breath. Shot, fired. The crack of the Barrett echoed through the mountains. Then silence. 1 second. 2, 3, 4, 5. "Drone confirms," the comms operator said suddenly, his voice breaking. "With AW target down. Kill confirmed." Nathan exhaled, only then realizing his hands were trembling. Beside him, Alina lowered the rifle. Her expression was calm, almost solemn. "That's it," she said softly. "It's done." Nathan looked at her. "You just made history." She shook her head. "No, I just did my job." As they packed up, he realized the truth. Records would note the distance, the precision, the impossible shot. But history would miss the most important part, her humility, her quiet dedication, her refusal to be more than a soldier doing her duty. Alina Vasquez had become a legend, But to her it was simply another day in the desert.